god, it's so pretty here. Why is it so pretty? I did not think Sharlayan would be this pretty. Is this the... Is this the studium or... Oh no, that's probably the studium. Or maybe all of this is a studium. Or maybe this one's the studium. Which one's the studium? Well, there's a retainer bell here inside the studium. That's cool. Oh, because the studium has the crafter and gatherer stuff. That's right. Kryle's here. Is anyone else here? It's hard to tell with all these people. I have a feeling I'm gonna be here eventually. Call it a hunch. My directions were easy enough to follow, I hope. In any case, you stand now before the doors of Numenon, Sharlayan's grandest collection of books and tomes. This building is actually only an entrance, and one of many of that, for the archives of Numenon extend deep beneath the surface, like the roots of a tree. The vast halls of the Great Google Library pale in comparison to Numenon's endless maze of subterranean chambers. Any citizen of Sharlayan is free to enter and peruse its shelves. Well, most of its shelves. Only Archons are afforded access to certain restricted vaults. Well, that's what we got Graha for. I've dispatched Y'shtola and Raha to investigate those. Meanwhile, Alice and Alphina will help me continue my searching so the stack's open to the general public. Your status presents more of a problem. As a non-citizen, you are only permitted to browse the first floor here at the entrance. Even so, there should be a number of books which touch upon Sharlayan history or foreign policy. Your task will be to find and study the relevant publications. I promise you, a working knowledge of those subjects will make it far easier to spot the sort of clues we're looking for. Let us be about it, shall we? I've told the others to meet us at the stone benches over there once they found some promising tomes. Happy reading! Alright. The story of Sharlayan. Long, long ago, on an island in the northern sea, there lived a Rogadan man by the name of Nyankrupf. Nyankrupf was a student of astrology, and he divined that a flood of terrifying proportions would soon sweep over the lands of Eorzea. So it was that he built a gigantic ship, assembled a crew, and set sail for that imperial rim. The flood arrived as foretold, and to their horror, the strangely churning waters drove the people toward the ocean. It was there, however, that Nyankrupf's crew hauled them aboard his ark, but the danger had not passed. A towering wave approached, threatening to smash the vessel to pieces. With only moments to spare, Nyankrupf wove a mighty spell of teleportation and shifted the entire ship to the safety atop of Abalthea's spine. That is the ship you can find in the peaks on the southern side. Refugees from the surrounding regions huddled there alongside them, but it was not long before disputes over the dwindling supply of food led to violence and bloodshed. Saddened by the sight, Nyankrupf gathered to him his crew and his grateful passengers and abandoned the ark to those reddened peaks. They journeyed to the coast where they built a new ship, intent upon returning to the northern seas. They landed on the beach of an island and settled upon that very spot. That settlement prospered and grew, and in time it became the city of Sharlayan we live in to this day. Many years ago, on the banks of the Thaliak in the Dravanian hinterlands, a Sharlayan colony once thrived. The settlement was originally established as a mere outpost to study the ethereal sea in the year 1311 of the 6th Astral Era. Scholars dispatched to Eorzea found the facilities wanting, and their demands encouraged a gradual expansion in structures and services. As rumors spread of a growing community of academics, the area was further inundated with Eorzean students hoping to share in the renowned wisdom of the Sharlayans. 50 years later, the Forum passed a motion to recognize what had become a flourishing town as an official Sharlayan colony. Eorzean residents took to calling the colony itself Sharlayan, which led to no small amount of confusion when discussions turned to the subject of the motherland. In response, some Sharlayan inhabitants, if pressed for a name, would simply refer to it as Emporium. Following the Great Exodus, however, goblins and treasure hunters claimed it for themselves a corner of the abandoned colony and gave it yet another name, Idleshire. Oh, I have to find books on relevant subjects, but there's books on a bunch of subjects. But I want to read all of these anyway. In the years which followed the founding of Sharlayan, civic policy and other matters of import were decided at the Ecclesia, a public forum at which every citizen was eligible to speak. As the city's population grew, however, this format became increasingly impractical. The larger number of participants gave rise to ever longer debates, resulting in significant delays of vital resolutions. Various measures were introduced in an attempt to curtail protracted discussions, but in the year 201 of the 6th Astral Era, it was ultimately decreed that Sharlayan would transition to a new form of governance. The nation would now be led by a body of 99 members, citizens chosen from amongst their peers by means of a nationwide vote. Thus was the forum as we know today, conceived and created. Have you ever gazed at the skies above and contemplated the mysteries contained therein? I speak not of shifting cloud patterns, but of the vastness beyond, of the sun and the twinkling tapestry of the night. Some think the dome above us to be a finite space, yet amongst the leading thinkers of our age, one scholar's depictions of a boundless sea of stars has firmly taken root. Alas, this heavenly sea remains as unreachable, unknowable destination. There are few indeed who can explain in satisfactory detail why our own star is believed to revolve around the sun. It was the technologists of Alag who came closest to understanding the laws which govern that starry abyss. It was they who launched Dalamud and sought to expand beyond our earthbound existence. Having read of their ancient ambitions, I wonder, has your interest in this field of study waxed or waned? What if I were to tell you that the eternal constellations were arranged differently in the distant past? That their positions continue to shift almost imperceptibly but measurably as we journey into the future? Would it shock you to learn that the stars drift further and further apart, and may indeed do so forever? Are you eager to learn more? Forever 20 summers. My beloved seekers of knowledge, have you ever put learning before your health and neglected to feed and rest your body as you should? My beloved seekers of gaming, have you ever learned to put your health and my beloved seekers of gaming, have you ever put gaming before your health and neglected to feed and rest your body as you should? I too much engaged in such foolish practices, but one night, engrossed in philosophical study, I had an epiphany. For all the world's mysteries that drive us to reckless abandon, we have so few years of life of which to achieve our goals. Thus do I share with you this mantra: I am forever 20 summers young. The number itself is unimportant. You could be 19 or 23 or 40, whatever age you are when you discover this manual, let that be the age you aspire to remain. Through mindful, healthy living, will you extend the time available to spend upon your chosen research? Another day, another moon, another summer to grasp the greater truths you peruse. In the pages that follow, we will explore the secrets of maintaining one's physical condition from a biological, etherological, and arcane viewpoint. Okay, that's not bad advice. Oh, is that a little mammoth? Aw, look at him go. Where you going, buddy? You gonna go read some books? That's cute. Stewards of Wisdom. During the chaos of the 6th Umbral Calamity, Archon Nyunkrep, founder of Sharlayan, bore witness to the madness and savagery of men brought to the brink of despair. Upon raising a settlement on an island in a northern empty, he instructed his people thus: renounce the ways of war, and pursue enlightenment through knowledge and reason. The Sharlayans took to heart the words of their savior, and thenceforth served as stewards of wisdom. Upon a foundation of accumulated learning, they built a homeland unlike any other, a nation born from strength of minds rather than strength of arms. With knowledge of economics came shrewd trading. With knowledge of agriculture came bountiful crops. Engineering brought wells and sewers, ending squabbles over water. Wealth of expertise could be bartered for wealth and coin, and the more their wisdom spread throughout the world, the more mankind as a whole would thrive. And so, it was that no matter the trials and tribulations of the age, the citizens of Sharlayan would live by their founders' teachings. For the sake of a better tomorrow, for the sake of a brighter star, they would eschew the tools of war, and with knowledge deliver the world. Alright. Any more books to read? I don't want to miss out on anything, because this stuff fascinates me. Sightseeing log! I want to jump down there. I want to jump down there. Let me down. Let me go down there. Graha's down there. I want to go down. I want to go down. Well, well, well. There's a meeting spot here, just as I planned. It would have been nice to invite everyone to the estate. Plenty of comfortable places to read, and a ready supply of hot tea. Oh, I was always quite fond of reading outside. But it's not about the little pleasures, is it? You miss your home, aw. It's been difficult. After our arrival, we managed to speak with one of the family's servants and ask how things were. It seems our dear father has instructed the staff that even if Alphino and I were to return to Sharlayan, we were not to be allowed across the threshold. Ah. A harsh measure indeed. I hope that our efforts to understand his position, and that of the Forum, will perhaps lead to a reconciliation. We'll mend this rift one day, I'm certain of it. And what of you, Graha? Have you been to visit your family? Or... oh my god, family! Graha family! Or do they not live here in the city? Give me Graha lore! Well... my situation is also somewhat complicated. I was raised in Sharlayan, yes, but I was born rather further away. In the southern reaches of Ilzabard. In fact, really? For generations, my people dwelt in Corvos, the coastal region opposite the island of Thavnir. The Allegans founded a city in that fertile land, and by ship brought in the subjugated tribes of the Mikote to serve as laborers. Of course, the massive earthquakes of the Fourth Umbral Calamity brought an end to the Empire's reign, and when the Fifth Calamity froze the sea solid, many of the tribes still living in Corvos braved the journey back to Eorzea. My ancestors, however, chose to remain, that they might prevent the remnants of Allegan technology from being misused. Isn't Corvos under Garlean rule? For the past 50 years, yes, some semblance of local culture remains, as is the case for most imperial provinces, but Garlemald renamed the region Locos Omenes. When I was a boy, a nearby town came under the jurisdiction of an illustrious imperial family, the nobles of House Darnus. Oh my god! House Darnus demonstrated a singular interest in Allegan civilization, and so my tribe was forced to consider a plan of action. For some time already, voices had been raised in favor of abandoning our ancient customs. After all, the Allegan Eye no longer passed to our eldest children as reliably as it once had. Fear of discovery eventually tipped the scales, and the decision was made to bury our ties to the knowledge and traditions of Allag. As the last child born with the Allag Eye, I was given over to the custody of friends and the students of Baldessian, who had me registered as a Sharlayan citizen. I never even considered. Forgive me, it was an unkind question. Even Thancred was taken in by Archon Louis Sois, was he not? Stories of adopted waifs and rescued orphans are more common among Sharlayans than you might think. Oh my god. Yet regardless of our origins, we are all provided with equal opportunity to learn, and with sufficient perspicacity, we outsiders can even earn the vaunted title of Archon. 'Tis exactly why I have such love for this country, and why I wish to remain a nation with which the citizens can be proud. Oh my god. Okay, I was hoping for more Graha backstory, but I wasn't expecting it on this level. But if Graha's family is in Ilzabard, we could meet them. I need to look back at I need to look back at the area he said. There's no way. Okay, they're not just gonna mention that Graha has family in Ilzabard without us meeting his family. Oh my god. Oh my god. Here, another good reason to get to the bottom of the Forum's stubbornness, aside from the trifling matter of our impending doom. Excuse us while we try to make some headway into these books, Mana. More company should be arriving any moment now. But that makes so much sense, though. Like, if his family, like, like, guarded Allegan secrets. No wonder his family's land was, like, ruled by Nail von Darnus, because she's the one who was, like, obsessed with Dalamud, and, like, no wonder. Like, it makes sense. It makes sense. Oh my god, it makes so much sense. I wonder, oh my god, I wonder what Graha thinks about what we've done with Nail. Like, should we tell him? I didn't even consider the possibility that Graha wasn't born in Sharlayan. Oh my god, but that makes so much sense. What else do I know of Corvos? Precious little, I'm afraid. I've not returned since Master Galef first brought me here. I can tell you that Corvosi rebels still seek to slip the yoke of their imperial masters, though the fighting is far less fierce than it once was. Oh, and they have carpets! Flying carpets! The legends are quite extraordinary. Okay, what was the name of your homeland again, Graha? Scrolling through the dialogue. Yeah, it's Corvos. Opposite the island of Thavnair. We are absolutely going there. 100%. Corvos, write that down. Write that down. Speaking of which, might I ask you a few questions related to the final days? I'm the only one here who didn't get to witness the events of Amaranth firsthand, and I fear I may be overlooking critical details. I got you, Kral. My thanks. Now, where to begin? First thing first, what kind of phenomena did the ancients encounter as the final few days drew nigh? Oh god, this is a quiz. Okay. A complete destabilization of creation magics. Yeah. Yes, the unfolding catastrophe wrought havoc on all manner of life. The chaos extended to the ancients themselves, causing their powers of creation to spiral out of control. Fear and despair manifested in terrible, tangible fashion. Meteors raining from the sky, fire erupting from the ground, indescribable abominations prowling the streets. That more or less aligns with my understanding. If only the arts of creation had survived into the present day, we might have had something substantial to analyze. To the best of our knowledge, however, those techniques were not preserved or passed on. Ishola surmises that the closest known magic is that of the summoning rituals promulgated by the Asians. Was there aught else of note which heralded the approach of the final days? The entire star was engulfed by the disaster all at once. That's not true. Oh, they say it began with a keening sound from the land itself. Yeah, that one. Ah yes, the Amarotians spoke of it, didn't they? We never did hear this sound ourselves, of course, thrust as we were into the midst of the madness. But it seems that each and every one of the catastrophes were preceded by this ominous noise. Eventually it resounded all across the star, and not even Amarat was spared. So the ground was crying out, you say? To be considered the harbinger of doom, it must have been quite distinctive, and probably quite loud. I'll have to speak with one of the Numenon's mammoths and ask of any books which make mention of such a sound. Last but not least, would you describe how the ancients sought to quell this unprecedented calamity? What definitive action did they take? They summoned Zodiark. Yes, with Elidibus serving as his heart. So many gave themselves in sacrifice to bring him into being. We do not know exactly how Zodiark brought salvation to the star, only that his godlike will were the laws of nature set all aright. Then, once the balance was redressed, the ancients offered up a further sacrifice to heal the ravages of the final days. Life sprouted anew, and it was these fledgling souls they intended to render unto Zodiark, a trade that would have allowed them to resurrect the shades of loved ones absorbed by the primal. Or might have, had Vana and her followers not manifested their opposition in the form of Hydaelyn. Thank you, both of you, for the detailed review. I feel much more confident now in my understanding of events. With all that freshly in mind, it does make me wonder what the Telephoroi truly mean when they speak of bringing back the final days. Okay, so the towers, I wonder if the towers are supposed to make this noise? Whatever the noise is. Like, the noise does something and everything goes out of control. Maybe that's it. We've seen what they're doing with those towers of theirs. Is forcing people to summon primals a kind of catalyst? Are they attempting to mirror the conditions caused by unstable creation magics? Or are they simply using the final days as a figure of speech? A convenient metaphor for the scale of destruction they plan to unleash. But this is all just pointless conjecture at this stage. Let us return to our attention to the forum, shall we? I'm the last, am I? Well, my extended search of the Archon stacks produced 1 or 2 possibly useful books. But I wouldn't get your hopes up. If you recall, Riange learned of the source's reflections from the Garen oracles. For its potential to cause panic and confusion, that tome was deemed apocrypha and sealed away in the Great Google Library. 'Tis even less likely that the knowledge of unsundered world, not to mention the horrors of the final days, would be left sitting on a shelf for any curious scholar to find. It stands to reason, then, that my colleagues, be they archons or counselors, should perforce be largely ignorant of the subject. Yet when you confronted Master Fortuno with the knowledge of the Telephoroi and their machinations, he scoffed at the suggestion that they posed a threat. He seemed adamant that the Forum would know if the final days were truly upon us, which only supports the conclusion that whatever privileged wisdom is guiding the Forum's behavior, it is being kept secret from the rest of the nation. Not that I mean to excuse myself from reading duty. Whether they contain mention of the final days or no, these books could yet hold something of value. You weren't thinking of leaving, were you? There's plenty of work for everyone. Oh no. Study session. Attendance is mandatory. You labor for what feels like an age as you stroll as research assistant. That's the dream. Now let's say. Ready for a tea break, Mana? I know I am. Honestly, my neck and shoulders are going to calcify if I don't stretch my legs and walk around for a bit. You know the last stand down in the harbor, don't you? Come and meet me near the outside tables, and I'll treat you to their coffee. It's quite good. Yay! We're gonna go to the only place with good food. Your efforts to gain Graha Tia's attention go unnoticed. He appears to be lost in his reading. No! Pay attention to me! Is that a bunny boy? Hello, sir. Nice to meet ya. As busy as ever, I see. How very Sharlayan that no other gourmet cafe has sprung up to compete for customers. Actually, this crowd gives me an idea. Before we place an order, why don't we ask a few questions and gauge the mood of the city? I'm interested to hear what the average citizen has to say about the Telephoroi. We might even learn something new. Worth a try, don't you think? Follow me, LSA! Hell yeah. I'm gonna take LSA. I just wanted to see if she has anything to say about the Levier estate. I know it's very mean to take her there, but curiosity is killing me. Oh my god. Hello. I see you. No, it looks like she's got nothing to say. I'm just bullying Alice, eh? Sorry. I see a sightseeing log in the Levier home. Come with me, Alice, eh? I'm gonna bully you a little bit. The Levier estate. This elegant mansion has stood for 3 centuries and is a treasured example of Sharlayan's architectural heritage. For generations, it has served as the home of House Levier, a noble family from which has arisen many distinguished forum members. Okay, Alice, follow me. Alice, what do you think of hills? You too, Alice? You too, Alice. You are stubborn just like Raha. I've lost sight of Alice. Oh man, we need to go back to our scheduled meeting spot. What is it? Can a man not enjoy a moment of private respite? If you're looking to share a table, then I respectfully request that you look elsewhere. You misunderstand, sir. We're simply wondering if you knew about the Telephoroi. These enemies of peace have promised to end all that we would hold dear and... Wait. You're that House Laviere girl, aren't you? And this woman with you is obviously a foreigner. I heard you were disowned for helping outsiders indulge their barbaric whims, and here you are, giving truth to the rumor. I'll thank you to leave me be. I've not say to the likes of you. Well, I must apologize. 'Twas foolish of me to expect an ounce of civility from one so enlightened. Come, Mana. I'm sorry, Alice, that was mean. Yes, I don't believe I've had the pleasure. Pray excuse the interruption, but we were hoping you might share your thoughts on the Telephoroi and their unconscionable plans. My goodness, if it isn't young Miss Laviere. My apologies, but I work in the offices of the Forum, and if word reached Master Fortunato that I was helping you... I see. We're sorry to have bothered you. Aw. At least she was polite about it. Meet Dickon, the owner of the Last Stand. I used to frequent his cafe on occasion, in between lessons at the studium. That seems like an age ago now. I remember hearing that you and Master Alphino had set sail for Eorzea, but then you never came back. Lately, there has been gossip about your father disowning the pair of you. Everything all right at home? It's complicated, and I hadn't expected complete strangers to be so familiar with our situation quite so quickly. Everyone has an opinion, it seems. Well, it is House Laviere. No matter how discreet Master Fortunato may have been, news of your family's doings never stays secret for long. Things being what they are, what brings you back to the city now of all times? We have questions, and only Sharlayan has the answers. Tell me, Master Dickon, have you heard anything about an apocalypse called the Final Days? What, like the end of the world? Nothing like that, I'm afraid. And that's what you're here to find, information on this apocalypse. Yes, whatever we can learn. Unfortunately, your patrons appear to be unwilling to speak with me. I wish there were more I could do to help. But maybe there is. You're a visitor to Sharlayan, aren't you? Then, few will know your face. We should be able to pass you off as a server, with none the wiser. We just finished preparing a few orders. Strike up some friendly conversation while you're setting down the food, and you might just get the answers you're looking for. Not a bad idea. I hate to ask, but what do you think? Yeah, I'll do it. Anything for you, Alice. That's the spirit. Pay attention now, and I'll explain where each of these dishes needs to go. Oh, jeez. Good luck. Okay, so cats like lobsters, so give the lobster to the cat, and the lady wants the omelet, and the other people want the tea. Okay. Yes, you get the tea. Yes, you get the tea. Oh, my tea set. Lovely, thank you. The telefahu? I will give you, please don't mind the cat boy on the table. I give you omelet. Ah, finally. 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's dig in, no time to waste. What? The Telephoroi? Ah, yes, I remember seeing the name in the latest gazette. That and some grand claim about the end of days, some old senseless warmongering. When will these fools grow tired of spilling each other's blood? Best stay out of it, I say. The Forum made the right choice, and I fully support our decision to remain neutral. Okay. I wasn't actually expecting anyone to have heard of the Telephoroi. Hello, Catboy, I remember you. Lobster for the Catboy. Alas, the oven-baked lobster is mine. You have no idea how long I've skimped and saved and suffered to afford this heavenly dish. Oh my, look at this bunny boy. Wow. Wow. Live your best life, bunny boy. The Final Days? This is the first I've heard of it. Although that would explain why my friend has been rushed off his feet. It must be a busy time to be a gleaner. You don't know what a gleaner is? They're collectors of sort. Travel the world procuring things that we haven't got here in Sharlayan, priceless books, unusual life specimens, and so forth. So named for those folks who trail after the reapers of the fields, picking up every grain which was missed. Aye, by all accounts, gleaning is a most meticulous and demanding profession. If these Telephoroi make good on their audacious threats, then many uncatalogued rarities could be lost forever. Why else would the gleaners be buzzing about in such a frenzy? Watch the harbor and you'll see what I mean. They're carting loads in from the docks all day. It's never been this hectic before, not like this. That's some pretty interesting information.
When our father disowned us, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It wasn't until much later that his words began to sink in, that I began to feel the weight of what it meant. Do you remember when the decision was made to come to Sharlayan? Graham said that the Forum was determined to keep us in the dark, and that Father's venomous performance was part of that strategy, to keep us at arm's length. Perhaps it was. Father argued with Grandfather on many occasions, but never with such dismissive contempt. And when he demanded what justifies the sacrifices we make in war, I honestly didn't know what to say. Neither did Alpha know, I know, but never for one moment did I believe we had made the wrong choice. So all I could do was fume silently. It was only afterwards that I realized how childish I had been. How being stubborn and self-righteous must run in the family. If I could have just mustered a civil response, then things might have turned out differently.
Are all the men at the back of the boat the same?
They must be ferrying goods to Labyrinthos.
Labyrinthos. Let's go there.
A vast complex beneath the island. Sharlayan is famous for archiving knowledge from around the world. Well, that knowledge is not preserved exclusively in dusty tomes and desiccated samples. Our living library, comprised of all manner of flora and fauna, is housed and studied within that underground facility. Still, that did seem to be an unusually large shipment. When I lived here, it was rare to even see such cargo transported by boat. Wait! Didn't you hear something in the last stand about the gleaners coming and going more than usual? Well, I think they're the ones we saw manning those boats. And gleaners answer to the Forum. If the appearance of the Telephoroi prompted this sudden burst of activity, then Labyrinthos may hold a clue as to what the Forum is planning.
Let's go! I bet I have some hunt marks down there. I want to fight them. I'm still only doing the Sharlayan side of the MSQ intro, and I'm almost halfway to 81. Hell yeah! My loyal assistant returns. There is a lexicon on the first floor that I need you to... Ah, you found something, haven't you? Aw, Yashola, I totally would, but we got story to do. Is that coffee I smell? Did I miss the tea break? Oh, I would have invited you, Graha, but you were reading your book. Let's see what theory we could build from the facts. As Yashola observed earlier, Numenon's archives appear to contain no information concerning the final days. Coupled with what Mana and Alice learned at the Last Stand, we could be reasonably sure that most Sharlayans know nothing of that particular period of our ancient history. Yet my father and his colleagues are not only familiar with the final days, but are also somehow certain that the destruction being perpetrated by the Telephoroi is wholly unlike these apocalyptic events. Moreover, the Forum claims to be so occupied by a duty of such pressing importance that they saw fit to unanimously deny Eorzio's request for aid. And now the Gleaners, official agents of the state, have been mobilized on an unprecedented scale. I do not think it's a stretch to conclude that the Gleaners' recent activities are in service to the Forum's secretive ends. In which case, our next course of action seems obvious. We visit Labyrinthos and assess the situation for ourselves, and if we're lucky, the Gleaners will be far more receptive to our questions. What should we expect down there? Oh, I would hate to spoil the surprise. Oh, thanks, Kral. As for myself, there are a few more subjects I should like to research. I may join you later, but feel free to leave behind your borrowed books and be on your way. I'll see to it that each is returned to its proper place. Aw, man, Grohad... Grohad doesn't want to go to Labyrinthos. He would rather stay behind and do some reading. Alice, talk to me. Ready? Labyrinthos is not too far from here, but you may find the path a bit disorienting. I'll take the lead, so stay close. Follow Alice and try not to fall behind. Wait, really? Oh my god, I have to actually follow her. Oh my god. I'm the following NPC now. Start running, Alice. This is cute, but I can see it being annoying. Oh, now we run. Try to keep up. There we go. Now we're talking. Hell yeah, hell yeah! What do you have to say about Labyrinthos, Emmett?
Deep beneath the scholar's city shines a false sun within a fabricated sky. In any age exist those who consider the floor an extension of their bookshelves. And this vault's architects surely belonged to that special breed. If the stack grows too high, start a new one. If no room remains, then make more rooms. A simple solution at first, and then bit by bit, a profound transformation. Knowledge buried beneath knowledge, a growing, creeping labyrinth from which there is no escape.
Labyrinthos.
Not what you expected. I must admit, the artifice is very convincing. But I assure you that we are beneath Sharlayan itself. The breeze you feel, the flowing waters you hear, all created by the hand of man.
The island is volcanic, you see, and once upon a time this great hollow must have been a reservoir for magma. It was discovered some 400 years ago, at which point it was repurposed as a storage facility for scrolls and samples and such. Renovations have continued, with nigh on no interruption to this day, with the lower levels still undergoing expansion.
Aren't those people gleaners?
Aye, judging by their dress. They are said to work alone as a rule, but 'twould seem that rule is being enthusiastically broken today. It may be as you suspected, that they are engaged in a task apart from the norm.
Let's spread out and get some answers then. Ugh. Did you call to me just now?
Echo, Kral? Was that
No.
Echo?
How odd. I must be a bit dizzy from the descent. I'll be fine, I'm sure. Let's get to work, shall we?
Oh, another mammoth. Aw. Oh, bunny boy. You want to know what I'm doing? Hauling books and ore and fauna. If it means needs hauling, I haul it. Every decade or so, they take stock in Labyrinthos. You know, sort and tidy up the inventory. Never seen an operation like this before, though. They just did one a few summers ago, even. Then, with no warning at all, this mess gets dropped on our laps. Orders from on high. Damned if I know the reason. Could be that they're changing the layout, eh? Preparing for the next big expansion. I, too, have been preparing for the next big expansion. Hello, bunny boy. You wish to help me find the marmots. I've nothing suitable to pay you for your services, but if you're offering out of the goodness of your heart, I'd welcome the assistance. Sure thing. The name is Erenville, friend. Specialist in the collection of live specimens. Ooh, is that... That's just a regular guy. That's not even a hunt, that's just a regular guy. Look at this guy, look at this lad. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Oh, no. Oh, no, the sun has risen on Labyrinthos. Oh, man. Oh, no. Ooh. Wait, no, I want to keep hearing the music. Oh, good, more. Okay, they did change acceleration. That's gonna take some getting used to. I'm gonna fight this guy. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. I would like to initiate combat with you. I just want to listen to the music. This is definitely going to be a very interesting feeling expansion. God, not the Labyrinthos music. So I fully believe this music is not permanent, and that something is going to happen to Labyrinthos, and the music will change. But for now, I'm going to have to... just going to have to tolerate this. Wait, this thing's a troll! I just noticed, this is a troll! This is the anti-tower. You think I don't know the anti-tower theme? It's interesting that that's a settlement theme. I made sure to keybind the motorcycle to my hotbar because the motorcycle comes with fast speed by default, so this mount is faster than all my other mounts, just by default. So I was smart and I put it on my hotbar. And I'm gonna be riding this thing until I get flying. Look, that person's smart too! Thankfully, the marmots seem to be unharmed. They've held up well in isolation, but it's much too soon to release them into the habitat. It's a good thing we were able to recapture them swiftly. You have my thanks. What will you do with the marmots now? And that's for the Forum to decide. They are the guiding authority behind Labyrinthos after all, and this job was but one small part of this great inventory of theirs. Suitable for consumption and easy to breed. Those were the two conditions I was given for the stock I was instructed to procure. I don't know what the Forum has planned for these creatures, but at the very least, I doubt they'll be served for dinner today or tomorrow. They're trying to make a shelter to flee into. We also discovered when the operation was begun. The Forum contacted the Gleaners Guild ship and put the people to this great work some 4 days after the Telephoroi made their chilling declaration. Okay, so this is very recent. As seasoned travelers, the Gleaners kept abreast of news from every corner of the world out of necessity. Thus, I am inclined to trust that their calendar of events is accurate. Altogether, it gives a distinct impression that this undertaking was a sudden and unexpected development. Yet I find it hard to believe that such comprehensive restructuring of Labyrinthos and its archives could have been planned in so brief a window. Nay, this plan was long in the making. They were but awaiting the right time to put it into effect. And the Telfaroy's declaration was what set it all in motion? It seems likely, but let us not leap to conclusions just yet. For the moment, I suggest we conduct a wider investigation of Labyrinthos. The more facilities we visit, the more pieces of the puzzle we stand to find. In that case, how about we head to the Archeon? From there, we can reach the lower... Oh, Kral, what's wrong? Kral, what's wrong? I'm fine, truly. The sudden descent has left me with a bit of a headache, that's all. Nothing will stop me from soldiering on. Let's be about it, then. At least allow me to take the lead. I'm fairly certain I remember the way to the Archeon. We follow the path east, through the forest where we were chasing after that mouse. Or marmot, was it? Anyway, 'tis the trolls you need to watch out for. Oh, words to live by, Alphino. Don't worry about me. I'm hale and healthy. In fact, I'm beginning to suspect that... Nay, let's discuss this later. The investigation demands our undivided attention. I wonder if the people of Sharlayan in the forum are trying to get rid of Kral for asking too many questions. Like, try to incapacitate her or something. Bunny boy. Bunny boy. Triple triad! Easy! Greetings, we are here to peruse the Archeon's vaults. Peruse? You are clearly not gleaners then. Might I ask your affiliation? We belong to the students of Baldessian, but is that relevant? I was given to believe that the vaults, those open to the public at least, were open to the public. Ordinarily, yes, that would be the case. At present, however, access is restricted. Only persons directly involved in the reorganization efforts are permitted to enter. Not us, then. I suppose we had better move along to another facility. This building has a lift which connects to the middle tier, yes? Might we at least make use of that? No. That service has also been suspended, I'm afraid. For the time being, priority has been given over to the conveyance of inventory. What? So this is as far as we can go? I apologize for the inconvenience. Please come again after our restructuring operation is concluded. By that time, it will be too late. And we were so close to getting answers. We need to rethink our approach. Let us step outside for the moment, shall we? Let's just jump down there. It's fine. Look at all these motorcycle havers. Look at all these people with big brains. Am I taking the lift? Oh no, we're just students. They won't let us into the Archeon, even though we found... Actually, we have no idea what it is we found. There's no record of such a creature anywhere. But it was wandering around Tranquility, and so we thought to donate it to the vaults. What is it? What is it? Odd little squeal, don't you think? Anyway, I suppose we'll take care of it until the Archeon is open again. What's in the box? Oh, it's you again. Bun boy.
A fair shot.
Ooh, voice acting. I like this bunny boy. World's first bunny boy.
Nicely done. Let me truss this one up and I'll make my way over to you.
If this is voice acting, I'm scared. I hope the bunny boy will be okay.
There you are. Any new revelations?
So you met with that gleaner again, this time to capture a hornbill. I understand catching and bringing in creatures from the outside, but what's the point of chasing after ones already here?
Oh, it's a simple thing, really. Occasionally, we remove specimens no longer needed for study, or those we've had difficulty raising. But we can't simply turn them loose. Safely returning such creatures to their native habitats is another facet of a cleaner's duties. But not in this case, I'm afraid. I've been asked to bring the bird below.
The restricted section in the lower levels of Labyrinthos. Open only to a select few researchers handpicked by the Forum. The projects down there are the subject of rumor and hearsay. Forbidden magics. Advanced technologies that can never be allowed to fall into outside hands. Even Archons are not privy to the truth. Those who are, the researchers involved in this secretive work, are not permitted to walk freely in the city, and are instead required to live in isolated quarters.
What could a facility subject to such strict security protocols possibly need with a hornbill? An experiment?
Possibly. I wasn't afforded an explanation. But judging by the requisition list given to me and my colleagues, I doubt it's for any kind of advanced research. I'd be more inclined to believe we were making preparations to migrate to the south. Mericidia or thereabouts.
Are we gonna go to Mericidia?
What? Why would you say that?
Much of the flora and fauna we were asked to procure could serve as reliable sources of sustenance. They're comparatively hardy species too, able to endure harsh climates. And among them are specimens known to be effective in improving soil quality and purifying water.
When you put it that way, migration does sound like a reasonable assumption.
That's all it is, though. An assumption. In our tasks, we gleaners glimpse only bits and pieces of the Forum's plans.
Oh my god, they're planning another exodus! Oh my god, Sharlayan, stop it with that!
Our prime concern is that our requisitions, be they living or otherwise, are properly preserved for the knowledge of future generations. Now, I really must be going. I regret that I cannot reward you as you deserve.
Perhaps you might reward us after a fashion then. It is imperative that we reach the lower levels. And seeing as you are already set to descend with your assigned cargo, mayhap we could accompany you as your assistants.
I'm afraid that won't be possible. Once the animals have been prepared for transport, we send them down separately via the lift. I will of course follow after to make my report, but I can hardly pass you off as porters when there's nothing left to carry.
Indeed. Pray forget I said anything.
How do you feel about climbing? If you've strength and the courage to brave it, then there is another way down. This path leads to the 33rd facet, a mine shaft excavated during one of our expansions of Labyrinthos. While I cannot guarantee that the passage is safe to traverse, it should provide access to the medial circuit below.
I never even knew such a place existed. Thank you. This is the perfect solution.
You're quite welcome, but consider yourselves warned. If the going proves too treacherous, you do well to turn back. I bid you good day.
Thank you, Bun Boy. God. Those bastards.
Turning back is hardly an option, not when we've come this far. Let's go and take a look at this mine shaft.
Those bastard Sharlayans are gonna do another exodus. God. I like Erenville. I hope he sticks around. I'd like to see him more. I'm almost 81 and I haven't even done the Thavnair stuff yet. That's good. That's really good. Yeah, I can already tell these new Red Mage changes will take some getting used to, but it's nothing too bad. It's just, I need to rewrite some of my muscle memory. Oh. Oh. Oh, those are some gross looking frogs down there. Aww. Aww. Andagoras. Aww. 'Tis possible they know something of the Forum's plans and their underlying motivations. Worth looking into, wouldn't you say? We're gonna get in trouble. So, see what you can coax from the workers. The rest of us will do the same, or cast about for useful clues. We're gonna get in trouble for being here, you guys! Guys! What crops are we raising? Well, as you can see, this one is a variety of grape. Only needs a good source of sunlight to grow, and the conditions here are nothing short of perfect. Hardly surprising given that it's a native to a particular locale, and the very place upon which Labyrinthos was modeled. A region in the south of Ilzabard? Could that be Graha's home? It boasts remarkable habitat diversity, allowing for a myriad of flora and fauna to thrive. Chilly peaks in the north give way to swaths of temperate plains, which in turn transitions into a hot, humid coastline. Such bountiful territory as ever contested, as you might expect, used to be called Corvos, but for the Imperials renamed it Locos Omenos. That is Graha's land. Graha lives in Grape Land. The Forum saw it not as a prize, however, but as a researcher's ideal environment, one whose climates we strove to recreate within the confines of Labyrinthos. It since provided a rich foundation for countless experiments in cultivation. We are absolutely going there. What is it called again? Like the Garlean name. It used to be Corvos Locos Monis. We are going there. We will go to that place and meet Graha's family. Oh. That's nice.
Hard to look away, isn't it? But they're more than pretty flowers. Heart blooms are attuned to ambient emotion. You don't seem convinced, but believe me, it's true. This ashen grey, for instance, it mirrors the anxiety and urgency of those working nearby as they rush to fulfill sudden orders. Intense feelings like those spur the petals to change colour. Bright glowing hues in the presence of joy, dark subdued shades for frustration or despair. Yet even with the collected wisdom of Sharlayan at our disposal, we've yet to identify the underlying principle of this empathic effect. And there are other mysteries besides. Although the flower is extraordinarily long-lived, its low reproductive rate has made it difficult to find younger populations growing in the wild. With too few sightings to map its distribution, and no closely related species to track, we've been unable to pinpoint its land of origin. To further complicate matters, every culture, even dimly aware of its existence, has given it a different name and mythos. Our attempts to study it via the historical record have been an exercise in frustration. As an avid botanist myself, I should one day like to unravel the Heartbloom's secrets. But I'm afraid other duties must take precedence. I will leave you to your thoughts.
Have you learned aught of interest? A flower that reacts to one's feelings. Strange. I must say, I have never heard of such a thing.
This is all very fascinating. But as it stands, we fail to gain any significant insight into the Forum's undertaking.
Indeed. While there is certainly enough activity to support Erenville's supposition that a priority has been placed on improving food production, unfortunately for our investigation, these workers were never informed as to how their duties serve the master plan.
If only we could interrogate the Forum members directly.
Is Forshno down there?
Isn't that the entrance to the arcade?
Oh no, it's the bunny boy. Arenville.
Look, there. I think that's Erenville.
Erenville.
A little difficult to tell from here, but I think you're right. He did say he was coming down to make his report.
Erenville receives his orders from the Forum. Would it not follow, then, that the superior to whom he reports is a Forum member? Or at least a close associate?
Let's get his
You mean
ass.
to eavesdrop on their conversation? What of the risks?
Ours alone to bear. We won't interfere with Erenville's work, nor will he be implicated as an accomplice. If you're not comfortable taking part, I can do this alone.
Nay. I said myself that I wished to know Father's intentions. And no answers will be forthcoming should we simply ask nicely.
We can apologize later, should it come to it. Right now, we need every crumb of information we can get our hands on. Consequences be damned.
It might be best if you came along as well. In fact, we should all...
Krell? Are you okay?
Cryle?
Oh, yes. That certainly sounds like a plan.
What is wrong with you, Kryle?
I'm glad you agree.
Quickly! Erenville is on the move. We need to get closer before we lose him.
Are these flowers doing...
I can almost reach you.
Huh? Huh? What? Is she talking about Heidelin? I love seeing all these people on motorcycles. They know what's up. Motorcycle solidarity. It seems Y'shtola wishes to have a word with us. Thank you, Alphanel. I can still hear it. Wait, you're hearing something. Why? Oh my god, are you gonna... Y'shtola, are you gonna turn me into a frog? No, I don't want to be a frog. No. Hold on a moment, I have an idea. If memory serves, that colossal wall-like structure is Logi Stikon Beta, one of Labyrinthos' climate control centers. It should have its own lifts, with which one could access the upper or lower tiers. If I were an agent of the Forum, I would make for a convenient meeting place. But even if we happen to find Erenville in the company of said agent, we cannot expect them to reveal issues of importance as we nonchalantly stroll past. Nay, we shall have to remain undetected. If only Graha and his vanish spell were here. Oh, but there are other ways of turning invisible. Hippity hoppy little toads! Goodness! Unaccustomed to transfiguration, worry not, it will wear off with the passage of time. I suggest you and your green companions hop along and catch up with Erenville. Should you feel the magic's fading, return to me and I will refresh the enchantment. What am I to do in the meantime? Wait here with me. In your current state of mind, you'd be as likely to leap into the jaws of a predator as you would learn anything of note. Which reminds me, where are the creature's whereabouts? In that form, you are essentially defenseless. Got it. You have changed into a toad. Will you return if you move too far away? Look to your map for the transfiguration area of effect. Speak with Y'shtola to restore or prolong the transfiguration. Being a frog is okay, actually. I don't care anymore. Oh, I would have enjoyed being a toad for a little while, if only for the change of pace. But Y'shtola is right. I am too preoccupied with other matters. Ribbit, ribbit! Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit! Alfie Toad and Ally Toad are now accompanying you. Keep them at your side in order to proceed with quest objectives. Oh my god. You can leave your quest companion. Yeah. Oh my god. Refresh, Y'shtola. Oh, stand still and I shall recast the spell. The transformation should last long enough to allow you to find a spot to spy on Erenville. Thanks, Y'shtola. Toads and Graha. Let's go. Let's go. Going on a little journey. I would stick to the path if I were you, my fellow toad. There's big mean toads up there. Ally Toad and Alfie Toad. Oh my god. Oh my god. I wish Graha were here to be a toad. Oh my god. Talk. Ribbit. Discuss your surroundings. Alfie Toad attempts and fails to shake his head, but you nevertheless understand that he is telling you this is the wrong way? Oh no. What about you, Ally Toad? Ally Toad turns to face the north. Perhaps she is suggesting you cross the bridge. Oh, that's a hunt mark. Come back here. Wait, I'm a toad. This is so fucking funny.
I trust you will find your compensation to be more than satisfactory. We wish to make clear that we are pleased with the efficiency and thoroughness of your work. So much so that we have come bearing new tasks in need of your competent hand.
Another lengthy list. If I may speak frankly, the Gleaners have been pushed to the point of collapse by your unending demands. We are not familiars to be exploited. We are Sharlayan scholars and we deserve an explanation for this unseemly treatment. What warrants such urgency?
In an age long past, Sharlayan was charged with a momentous duty. And now that word of the final days hangs heavy in the air, the time has come for us to fulfill that charge. I can say no more, but I promise you this. All will be revealed in due course. And when it has, you will understand that your toil was in service to the greatest good.
then I will do your bidding. For now, but unless you wish the Gleaners to rise up in protest, I advise you to offer tangible improvements for our working conditions. Your promised revelation does nothing to address present circumstances.
A fair point. Your concerns will be conveyed to the Forum.
I hope that was informative. You may consider my debt to you repaid in full.
Aw, Erenville.
While I do have my reservations about the Forum, I want to believe that they have our best interests at heart. Which is why I'm reassured that you're busy sniffing out the truth of things. We can ill afford to place all our eggs in one basket, this master plan of theirs, without first understanding the risks involved.
Erenville's cool. Oh.
Wait! How did you know it was us?
If you mean to impersonate a toad, try studying the real thing. And don't try to fool an expert.
Aw, I like him. I like Erenville. I hope nothing bad happens to him. Oh! Yay! I leveled up! Yay! Yay! Okay. We should head back to Y'shtola and Kral for the moment, see what they think of this. Okay, but there's a fade up there and I want to do it. I didn't get here in time. Boo. Black sheep! Cute! Oh, goodbye! It's funny how normal the forest seems now. As a toad, it was all so much more ominous and threatening. Where is Kral? Oh. Where is Kral? Welcome back. I trust you found Erenville then? Interesting. I had a feeling you would learn something important, even if that something was simply a confirmation that no one knows much of anything. We should share this with Kral, then discuss how we'd like to proceed. Assuming we find her back at the farm, she is still behaving oddly, so I bade her return and rest there. Perhaps not the best decision in hindsight. Would you mind checking near those flowers she was entranced by? The rest of us can survey the more distant areas, just in case she decided to wander. I'm very worried about Kral. Kral, you shouldn't do that.
For you. The spell will keep it from wilting.
Oh.
She said you would need it for the journey ahead.
Hydaelyn?
Will you speak with her now? I cannot hope to match Minfilia's clarity, of course, but...
Okay. Hydaelyn's been trying to reach you, huh?
Thank you. Do not worry. She has lent me her body for only a moment. Just as I could not save the first from the flood of light, it has become arduous for me to interact with the physical world without assistance. Though I might converse with you for a time, the incorporeal form I assumed on the ship would be incapable of casting even the simplest enchantment. It is in the depths of the ethereal sea, the place to which all life returns, where my influence is greatest. After Minfilia's sacrifice on the first, it was to the sea, here in the source, where I ferried her soul. I wish that gentle spirit to find rest in the world she loved so well.
Oh my god.
Her, and another who may yet have a part to play, though that will depend on you. Take the flower, walk free, for you are free, to go where you wish, to believe what you will. That bloom will be your guide, test and proof of your conviction. In darkness, seek joy. Surrender not to sadness, and see beyond despair. Walk free, and bear the light for others to follow. Together, raise it aloft and let it shine, till the end, blinding and radiant.
That was all too brief. Already she seems so far away. My apologies if I startled you. Ever since we began our descent into Labyrinthos, I had sensed another's will, straining to reach out. Even with my particular talents, though, I was unable to make a connection at first. So weak and tenuous it was, once I took hold of that wispy thread. Imagine my surprise to discover it was Heidelin herself. Needless to say, it seemed wise to learn what we could before letting go. Her answers were more cryptic than I would have liked, but at least she left us with a guide of sorts, that unusual flower. Yes, we are definitely making progress.
You can't be serious! We've done nothing wrong!
Oh, we got caught. Is this Shadowbringer music? Oh no!
Master Fortuno, what business has the Forum with us?
Obstruction and suppression, apparently.
This is the Shadowbringer music. I wasn't ready for that.
Mistress Baldessian, our records show you facilitated the Scions' entrance into Sharlayan by claiming them as assistants for your organization. We are aware of your investigations. After alerting the major institutions to the presence of potential troublemakers, we received word from an Archean custodian, a group operating under the auspices of the students, skulking about Labyrinthos and engaging in clandestine behavior.
Clandestine? We may not have entered Sharlayan as Scions, but we did naught to conceal our identities. Our only purpose in this city is to seek the truth. I can think of no reason why our actions should warrant the Forum's intervention.
'Tis not our way to discourage the pursuit of knowledge, but the timing of such pursuits must be considered, not to mention their potential impact. With the world in chaos, we, the true caretakers of wisdom, have committed ourselves to an undertaking that demands the utmost discretion. And we will not risk its success by turning a blind eye to disruptive foreign elements in our midst.
What then is to be our fate? Will you put us on a ship back to Eorzea?
The Forum will convene to examine your case. The results of said inquiry will determine your future in this city. As for your absent companion, he has already been detained.
No! We have to bring him out of jail! Girl has been arrested!
Graha! But why? Is reading a crime now, too?
Reading is encouraged, Celebrated, even. Not, however, of the volumes shelved in the restricted section of the library.
Graha arrested for his reading crimes.
Refusing to comply will only make matters worse. Let us instead treat this as an opportunity to open a dialogue with the Forum.
Silence is often one's best defense. I would advise against prolonging the proceedings with frivolous discourse. But enough. This is not the place for debate. The rostra await.
Free Graha! Let Graha out of jail! Free Graha from his prison! He's on trial! Oh, Kryl!
Forgive me. I was careless.
We would have been detained regardless. This way, at least, we managed to stay together. I trust your time within the Forbidden Archives was well spent.
The Forum will come to order. This inquiry is now in session. As Speaker-elect, I will be presiding over the day's proceedings. Master Fortuner, would you be so kind as to restate the matter which compelled you to summon your colleagues with such urgency?
As you are all aware, we recently denied Eorzea's request for Sharlayan assistance. Since then, certain individuals dissatisfied with our decision have taken it upon themselves to interfere with our work.
I see a bunny boy over in the corner over there. Hello, sir.
They entered our nation masquerading as associates of the students of Baldessian. But these malcontents are better known as the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. These militants wield influence with both the Eorzean and Eastern alliances, and are inextricably involved with the crises presently afflicting the world at large. Loose in our city, these warmongers sought to meddle with and expose matters of state secret. What are they, if not a dire threat to be expelled?
You have tarnished the good name of the students. Galuf would be ashamed.
Galuf Baldessian was never one to forsake his fellow man.
Kryl's hair is really cute. I want it.
Even if this nation closed every door and retreated from the world, he would have found a way to help the Scions, help every soul of this star fight back against the coming doom.
A terrible enemy stands poised to lay waste to all we hold dear. In the face of such madness, Eorzea reached out to Sharlayan, a respected ally, in the hopes of forming a united front. Was your curt dismissal truly the best you could offer? Or are you so preoccupied with your momentous duty of an age-long past that even the end of the world is unworthy of your attention?
Whence came this revelation?
From the mouth of a forum member within fortuitous earshot.
Then it seems your findings support my own. The reason I visited the restricted shelves was to study records of the Forum's policymaking process, to better understand the historical trends underlying their most major decisions. At first glance, the positions of neutrality in war and the accumulation of knowledge above all else appear constant and consistent, the unchanging pillars of Sharlayan society. And once upon a time, I might have left it at that. These days, however, I am more attuned to the subtleties of governance, and so I noticed something odd. From a particular point in time, the purpose of these policies shifted. No longer was knowledge preserved for the benefit of society. Rather, society was to be gradually reshaped to ensure the preservation of knowledge. The most conspicuous and telling change was the one which befell Labyrinthos. Once little more than an oversized storehouse, an enormous allocation of funds saw it transformed into an advanced research and archival facility. I also discovered a fascinating account on the finances of our Dravanian colony. The settlement attracted students from far and wide, and the connections and tuition fees thus acquired were funneled into further improvements for the archives. Now, there is no question that our nation's progress is tied to the acquisition of wisdom. Nevertheless, the vast resources diverted for this purpose borders on the obscene. But returning to the matter of when, our change in course appears to have been made some 270 years ago.
The very same period when Sharlayan scholars in the hinterlands began a formal study of the ethereal sea. You found something, did you not? And whatever it was, gave rise to your oh-so-important duty.
Mind your tongue, Archon. If you had seen...
Wait, can they literally not talk about it?
Yes. We are bound by a duty we cannot ignore. Knowing this, what would you have us do? Abandon our vital work and join you on the field of battle? We will never choose the way of the sword. We will fulfill our mission, not through strife and bloodshed, but survival. Come what may, we shall live on. We must.
Do as you must, then. But we Scions will fight until the heavens fall, until our last breath.
Such misguided zeal.
Father, Master Fortuner, I fail to understand the stance you have elected to take. But by the same token, I have yet to find a compelling argument to counter the challenge you put to us in Gridania. Still, in the midst of my uncertainty, I must trust in myself to do what is right, as others have chosen to trust in me. So I will continue, as I always have, weighing the consequences of my every action, and allowing my hope for the future to inform my decisions.
That's quite enough. Have you all forgotten the reason for this assembly?
Skolok Monteshane. He's the head of the studium and an old friend of my grandfather's.
And he's evil.
Honestly, every discussion devolves into some interminable debate. Terrible habit. Let's return to the topic at hand, By their own admission, these scions have resolved to fight alongside the Eorzean nations against the doom which swift approaches. But there exists no evidence of an attempt to incite our citizens to do the same. Furthermore, while our decision may well have been the correct one, we cannot simply bull our way through these disagreements without inviting doubts or objections. Put yourselves in their place. Who among you would leave a tome unopened if an elder forbid you read it with no reason given? Now, if we're to quell further discontent, then we must conclude this matter with a fair and even hand.
Order! We will have order! Master Monteshane raises some valid points. Keeping such concerns in mind, I propose we enforce the following measures. Until further notice, the students of Baldessian are to cease any and all activities within the domain of Sharlayan. You will also refrain from any further investigation into the Forum's decisions and duties. Failure to comply with these restrictions will result in the immediate expulsion of your Scion associates. Let us put this judgment to a vote. All in favor, raise your hand. I count 51 for and 48 against. The proposal is passed. Students, scions, you have heard the Forum's judgment. Pray abide by it, or face the consequences. Honored members, I thank you for your time. This inquiry is concluded.
Okay. Well, that happened. I apologize for the trouble I've caused you. I was pondering the significance of what I had just read as I left the restricted section. Oh. Illegal books, Graha. I should have known you'd get in trouble. I knocked over the security mammoth on my way out. I promise to be more vigilant next time. Way to go, Raha. You may encounter some raised eyebrows, but do continue to claim the students as your sponsor whenever the need arises. I believe in the guiding principles of the Scions, and I know my grandfather would have as well. Oh. My father may be right, that I am still groping in the dark for answers, but I need to know that I would never stop searching. I owed that much to Arenvald and myself. Bunny. Thank the gods for Skolok Monteshane. I absolutely loathe arguing in circles. Well, at least we've been allowed to remain in the city. And our endless investigations have not been in vain. We now know that the mysterious duty of theirs began with whatever the Forum discovered in the ethereal sea. With our freedoms so sorely curtailed, however, we still struggle to learn more of substance here in Sharlayan. We shall have to think very carefully about how we are to proceed from here. The overall picture has grown clearer, yes, but that's in spite of the Forum being so maddeningly vague about this duty of theirs. Why are they so reluctant to explain their actions in plain words? Survival, come what may, his father's work so vital that it takes precedence over his own family. Ooh, is that her? Is that Mrs. Levier? Alphino, Alice, it is you. Is that Mrs. Levier? Please. There she is. When I heard you'd been dragged before the Forum, I came as swiftly as I could. I am so very glad they allowed you to stay. Mother? Emilience Levier, at your service. And you fine people must be the scions of the Seventh Dawn. How lovely it is to finally meet you. Mother, please. We don't wish to make things difficult for you. If word reaches Father that you were here... Oh, bother that. Am I to be chastised for speaking with my own children? I am well aware that you and Master Fortuneau are not on the best of terms at the moment, but I've been absolutely desperate to see my darlings again. Aww. You will come by the house, won't you? I have gifts waiting. Aww. The timing couldn't be better. As matters stand, we shan't be going anywhere until we discuss matters with Dankred's group and reconsider our options. Go visit your home. We will be back at the Annex when you are ready to rejoin us. I'm not sure Mana, what do you think? Mana? The Mana Scarlet? What a splendid day this has turned out to be. Champion of Eorzea, I insist that you join us. Ah, but we must be quick about it. Not for my own benefit, but should my husband return and find you enjoying our hospitality, the servants will be made to suffer the consequences. Mana, if you'd be so kind to escort my children to the estate? And then she was gone, and with her any opportunity to protest. Indeed, the matter is settled. Enjoy yourselves, you three. Mother. Oh, I was hoping I would meet her. I'm sure Alphino thinks nothing of it. He invited classmates over all the time, but I wasn't the most... It was a different time for me, all right? I apologize. My mother is not one to take no for an answer. Still, I am glad, relieved even, to see her in such high spirits. What say you, Mana? Though it seems we shall have little enough time to enjoy it, will you accompany us on our visit home? Oh, travel time? Travel time. You too, Alice. You too, Alice. Come here. Fine, if we're going, then let's get it over with, but be sure to stay in the entrance hall. No peeking into our private chambers, thank you very much. Why ever not? Your room was always perfectly neat and tidy. Everyone has things they'd rather keep to themselves, don't they? Cherished mementos you couldn't bring yourself to throw away. Childhood toys. I mean, never mind. Levier Estate is that way, straight down the stairs. Come on. Yay! Follow me! Yay! We are going to the Levier Estate. We are going to speak with your mother. We are going to give some very stern words to your father. We're going to clean off the eggs of the Levier Estate. As children, Alphino and I would often wait here for our father to come home from work. It must have been a day when his meetings ran long, because I remember growing restless and leaning over the railing to watch the water rush by. Father, of course, arrived at that exact moment, came pounding down the path in a panic, crying out my name. When Alice and I were little, this bridge was as far as we were permitted to wander alone. I say alone, but my mother or a servant was always somewhere nearby, keeping a watchful eye. And now look at us, traveling to different continents, different worlds even. Bunny boy. I think I've seen this one before. Hello, we meet again. Does the Millions have voice acting? She better. This is definitely a voice acted scene.
Welcome home, my lady.
What? What are you gawping at? Oh, I suppose I never gave the decor much thought. I'm glad that you approve, I think.
Lord Fortuneau is not to hear of this visit. And I should also like the children to have their gifts, ere my husband makes his return.
As you wish, my lady.
Master Alphino, Mistress Alice, if you'd accompany me upstairs.
We shan't be long.
You spoiled fucking rich boy.
The twins have been sending letters home from time to time, recounting their latest adventures. I am sure they withhold certain details, of course, if only to keep me from worrying. Yet a mother worries all the same. In the early days especially, I tried to support them as best I could, sending the Scion's coin and other such donations. Fortunately, they have found the strength to overcome adversity time and time again. Their words grow more confident with every letter, their depictions more vivid. The triumphs and defeats, the joys and sorrows. It is clear that they have come to find value in every experience. But of those they treasure most, it would seem that meeting you might be the most impactful. Why, since that fateful day, I do believe there has not been a single missive in which you were not mentioned by name.
Aww. Aww.
'Tis plain they care for you, and I am glad they have such a steadfast companion watching over them. Under normal circumstances, I would offer you tea, but alas, these are anything but. In any event, why don't you keep me company whilst we await my children's return? Perhaps you might regale me with a tale or two of your exploits.
Oh, here we go.
When you mentioned gifts, I wasn't sure what to expect. Mother,
Oh.
Oh, look how well it fits you. And the style is to your liking?
Oh. Millions. Oh my god. She gets her children. She
It's
understands
perfect.
them.
Exactly what I would have chosen. But please, tell me you had something different made for Alice.
Naturally. You are hardly little children anymore. And while I shall miss dressing you in those precious matching outfits, I must respect the individuals you have grown to become. See for yourself.
Oh my god!
Thank you for the splendid clothes, Mother. Stylish, comfortable, and eminently practical.
I'm gonna cry! Their new outfits are gifts from their mom! Oh my god.
I am so glad you like them. They are, however, missing one final touch.
If you'd allow me, Master Alphino.
Oh my god. Oh, Alphino, you're a sage now? It's been decided. I decided this for you as your mother.
Wait. Are these...
A sage's tools of the trade. They belonged to your father. Though he may as well be chained to his desk these days, as a student he was often called upon to venture into the field. He wielded those armaments, both to heal and to harm in no few battles. None so fierce as those you two have braved, perhaps, but battles nonetheless. Thus did I pull them out of storage, to show you that he was not always the man who stands in vehement opposition to you now. And also because it would be a terrible waste of ridiculously expensive House Leveilleur commissioned artistry.
Mom.
I am told these devices are quite difficult to master, but someone of your extensive experience should soon have them darting about with grace and aplomb. May the wisdom in that crystal serve you well. And please, try to find common ground with your father, that you might come and go without need for this awful subterfuge.
We will, Mother. I promise.
My final gifts to you, before you run off, are an observation and a suggestion. Firstly, Fortuno has ever been a serious man, but it was only after you were born that he truly lost himself in his work. I may not know the Forum's inner workings, but I know your father's. The timing of that change in him holds some significance. Secondly, do not seek to best your father with words. Far better that you simply show him. Let him discover the merit of your actions, after they cannot be undone.
Oh, Mother.
We shall take your wisdom to heart. Thank you again for these gifts, and farewell for now.
Safe travels, my children. Eat well, stay warm, and keep your friends close.
Oh my god, she's so sweet. She's such a sweetheart. I have like opposite feelings for her than I do for her dad. But I kind of expected that. Oh man. Oh, it warms my heart. I'm gonna cry. They're so cute. Oh. And that was that. Only the god knows when we'll be back again. Thank you for indulging in Mother's request. I can see it meant a lot to her, and I shall refrain from inquiring as to the content of your private conversation. Our visit was all too brief. For now, however, it will have to suffice, as will these tokens of home that we carry with us, these gifts to help us remember who we are and whence we came. But enough sentimentality. Let's return to the annex and rejoin our companions. Aww. It's really sounding like Fortunato is trying to protect his children, because she said he changed after they were born. And to me, that could only mean he devoted his work to protecting his family. Like, I think Fortunato is not as... Like, I think his faults come from being overprotective of his family. Like, I think he cares about them, but he's bad about it. Don't think for a moment that I'm jealous of Alphino's new weapons. They're far more suited to him than me. We left for Eorzea in matching outfits, but our styles, both fashion and fighting, have long since diverged. If anything, I'm proud of the differences between us. Aww. If I intend to master these sage armaments, that will mean learning to imbue them with the same ether that I poured into moonstone and obsidian. 'Tis difficult to grasp the essence of such an entity. For me, it will help to think of the Newliths as allies in battle, simply a new form of energy, which went into manifesting my carbuncle companions. Okay. For us to feel responsible for the schism of House Levier would be pure hubris. After all, we are merely on the outskirts of what is essentially a family affair. And yet neither can we claim the indifference of strangers. To hear their mother welcome them so warmly was a joy and a relief. As curious as I am to learn the truth of this duty, I wonder what else the Forum is hiding, a calamitous secret whose origin lies in the ethereal sea. Duplicity aside, however, I do not believe Master Fortunato means us ill. Even the harsh words he has for his children stem not from anger, I think, but desperation. Enjoyed your time with the Leviers, I hope? I would ask how the twins fared, but their new outfits tell the tale. I only hope that we can help them to reconcile with their father, that they might return home one day with their heads held high. In the meantime, we edge closer to the secret the Forum strives to hide, and the flower bequeathed to you by Hydaelyn is sure to guide us going forward. I'm confident that once you've scouted out the situation in Thavnir, we will be well equipped to plot our next move. Oh boy, that took a while, though. It's wonderful how a garment given in love can so easily change one's whole outlook. I remember when I was still coming in terms with my talent with the Echo. Just being wrapped in the robe my grandfather gave me somehow made everything less daunting. Okay, well, that's one down. Time for Thavnir!